This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
We got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
Hi, this is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, and that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Thanks.
Hey, folks. Welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio, the final One Nation Radio of 2024. Rich, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. Just I'm very happy to be here for the final show of 2024. Got a lot to talk about here. Got Worlds End. We got some Stardom on the menu, NBA, and all that. But it's been a few weeks since we've actually done like a show, like kind of covering things. We had our, end of the year stuff. We definitely had FOH, which is going crazy right now. I believe, in one single week, we are, I think, less than $20 away from shattering last year's total completely. Oh, wow. So people tend to buy FOH all throughout the year. So we're trying to run that down, help us, break that goal. It's been a crazy reaction kind of to the show. I went insane. I think we all kind of took our individual shots at things.
I haven't listened to it back yet. I got to listen to it, but like some of the feedback I've seen initially is like, Rich really went there. So yeah.
Yeah. So if you have not heard FOH yet for whatever reason, we normally pair it with the holidays where hopefully you don't have a lot going on. Take it back to work with you. Go ahead and give us a visit to the Pay Hip and bless us, for our hard work throughout the year. We don't charge for anything really, but this is one of the best shows. It's always the best show of the year. Like especially the last 2 years, I think, have like really upped the ante here with what is going on FOH. So just wanted to mention that briefly. Other places on the network, Tunnel Talk today dropped an interview with Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. Yes, the Young Bucks. On there, about 52 minutes on there, and they have to walk through the tunnels and talk to Allie, Ann, and Leah, and they are at their mercy. So it's a very fun show. Getting aggregated a ton from every site as far as the eye can see. F4W, Ringside News, Wrestle Talk, you name it. Like it's getting picked up. So big shout out to them for doing a great job with that interview. And it's it's always cool when Hall of Fame wrestlers want to drop by the network. We tend not to reject them. Look, I don't know if they really want to come kick it with us because we kind of kick it a little different. But when they do come through, it's like, it's kind of cool to talk to them.
Yeah. Today was a big win for new media.
Yeah, new media. Yes. Had a lot going on. My sister performed at the Ring of Honor show, Final Battle show, did Red Velvet's entrance theme, Red, who you may have saw on there. I ended up doing production on a few new themes on that show as well with Mikey Ruckus, so that was pretty cool. Man, had Christmas and all that, and just been watching the C2 and all that, and we had kind of a nice holiday season here at my house. What about you, James?
Yeah, had a nice holiday season. It could have went a lot worse, but ended up being okay. I'm it's just in preparation for next year. Some of the things like what I want to do next year. I've kind of gotten the ball started on it or whatever else. So like going back to a commercial gym. So to do weightlifting as opposed to boot camp stuff. So had to find out like some weight totals or whatever else so I can get programming around it so I can do that throughout the year. Low volume stuff, so it's not like I'm just only lifting weights, but like something where I can
not fuck up your back.
Huh?
To not fuck up your back.
That too. That's very important. Definitely. So be able to gain some strength or whatever else. I've missed working out with a barbell. Really have. It's like first time I haven't been working with a barbell since CrossFit, and so that was like 2014 last time I touched a bar. So I've missed it. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. I've been watching some college football. Been watching some NBA on Christmas Day. Been watching people talk about the rating stuff with the NBA. People have been talking about like Christmas Day with the Beyonce thing and the NFL games and being on Netflix and everything. And lo and behold, like it seems like both sides can coexist. Like the NBA had like their best Christmas ratings in years. NFL had 20 million viewers on both things. It's almost like, hey, there's space for both of these. It's almost like when one moves off of TV, you can watch one on devices and watch the other on TV. It's almost like people had it both up in their houses. But anyway, I just I did not watch any of the C2. Like I basically FOH happened and I was like, I'm done for the year until Worlds End in Dream Queendom. No, I heard Darby Allin and Will Ospreay was incredible. I'm going to watch it. Just have it, right? Got all the shows, just haven't watched them yet. So, but yeah, man, I really got to say, I was really burnt out towards the end of the year. I talked to Rich right after we got done with FOH. I was saying to Jeremy and Josh and Rich, man, I've been really feeling burnt out when it comes to wrestling. I'm not liking the direction what was going on with with AEW. As far as the stuff with Moxley, and that was further reinforced.
We gonna get to it.
That was further reinforced, and I haven't, after the Grand Prix, I pretty much checked out on Stardom except for title defenses. So, for me, it's kind of I kind of need something to I knew it's going to be the Wrestle Kingdom week, right? Got Worlds End, got Dream Queendom. You're going to have the start of, you're going to have Wrestle Kingdom, you're going to have Wrestle Dynasty, you're going to have Stardom shows to kickstart the year and everything. And I gotta say, man, this weekend, it really rejuvenated what was really running on fumes for my love for pro wrestling at the time. Hey, man, I'm gonna keep going, but I'm gonna have a conversation with Rich as far as how long we can keep this show going on a weekly basis. After watching Stardom shows and along with what was happening on the tournament matches and the Mercedes matches on World's End, I was like, I'm glad I got to see what I saw on Saturday night, Sunday morning. It was a blast. It really was a blast to watch it. And so I'm happy to be able to to be here to talk about it, because if we didn't do the show, we was never going to talk about it except for in passing. We'll do a quick little 5-minute thing about both shows and then move on. So I'm glad we can talk. Yeah. I'm glad we can have a show.
Yeah. So I think we should roll right into before we get to the World's End stuff. We'll briefly stop in NBA World.
Okay.
So I pretty much I caught the second quarter of the Lakers game in the fourth quarter, and I watched most of the Spurs Knicks.
Right. Spurs Knicks with the Knicks in their traditional. I asked you, like, is it like some unwritten rule somewhere that like the Knicks have to have the noon game in Madison Square Garden? Because like I feel like that's been the case like for over a decade.
Yeah,
and you were like, yeah, kind of the case.
Yeah, I always remember them playing the Celtics. They got the Heat on Christmas before. Putting the Spurs there, I guess that's like if you have like a new star in like the Western Conference or something, you don't really have a bunch of stuff. Put them in the Garden. That's what you do.
Now, I'd have to look, but I feel like they put like Milwaukee there before.
They probably have. Yeah,
I feel like they put Milwaukee there before.
I feel like they have too at noon.
Yeah. Be like, new star.
Next year, Knicks Thunder.
We don't know. Let's put him in the Garden and see what he does. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Remember when Knicks fans thought they was gonna get him because of the, they thought almost like the demographic things, but like the McMahons, like there's a huge Greek population in New York City. Let's recruit him there.
But yeah, the NBA had a better day for the league than I can remember in a long time, because there's been a lot of negativity around the NBA. Yeah, and pick your reason. Like some of it's valid, some of it's not, and it's like, well, like these are not whatever. Like as I've kind of seen people who tries to work towards these answers, none of these are quick fixes, because like the league did not overnight get in this position. Right, like. This stuff is like, kind of built up to it. And a lot of it's, the old stars are who they are. And it's like, well, why would they have made new stars that are in that same mold? They're just younger. And it's like the pipeline. And it's like, yeah, it takes years for the pipeline to get fucked up. It's going to take years to fix it. Yeah. So I just wanted to mention that real quick before we get to, World's End and all that, but AEW World's End, we're gonna cover this show from front to back for a specific reason.
Okay, and, okay, Pimp C.
So it's gonna be
never lay a whole ass.
You gotta start with the C2 tournament. You gotta go throughout the show from what they intend to go next, and then what they finish with. So we'll get to it, but man. Let me pull up this match page. I know what we started with, though. C2 semifinals. So in the C2 this year, it was one side's first place against the other side's second place. That led us back to Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher having their third match of the year. Do not let people fool you than thinking this is the second match or whatever. No, they wrestled, and I saw it in person, and I was there, and it was crazy.
Was that March?
That was March.
It was definitely in the spring, because like it was basically like it was back to back with the Takeshita Revolution match.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
they were like in a week. They were within a week of each other, right?
Yeah, it's probably like the best regular rules kind of trilogy of the year. Like I can't think of anything else.
I mean, inside of this year, probably yeah. Yeah, probably.
Man,
it's way up there.
I saw this match, and I was amazed at this match. And Will Ospreay was not wearing the all black like he's been wearing for pretty much a month straight. He brought back the fly wear. And Kyle Fletcher, came to play. If you don't get it with that guy, I don't get it. I think that guy's a superstar in the making, and this match was phenomenal. This was 5 of the easiest stars I think I've ever given out. Surprise finish kind of with the Styles Clash to set up the big near fall later in the night. The real blood that they had going on, like with Ospreay getting it in, and wearing the approaching the Muda scale on there, probably about a 0.7 on that.
Have you heard a word on how many stitches or staples he ended up getting?
I did not know.
That was not a nice looking cut.
He bled in a way where I thought it would have been insulting for anyone else to try to do so on the same show, and they did. So, but yeah, just super fast, explosive, athletic, dangerous wrestling, like RLPW. I loved it.
Yeah, match is great. Now the crazy part about it is like, I don't think this was their best match this year. Right? Like I think
they went 16 minutes here. I think this is probably this might be their worst match this year.
That's kind of where I'm getting at, right? Like,
I don't think it was better than the last pay-per-view match.
It wasn't.
And then the first one was just such a surprise, and like
that's the one I'm debatable. I think this one is better than that one though. Like, I think if we go back and watch all three, and I think it would be like the worst one is the 4 3/4 star match that they had at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, man.
When people didn't even know who the fuck Kyle Fletcher was, had any reason to care about him if you're an AEW only fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, this is awesome. Great match. And like, the blood definitely added to it. And, I think immediately after though, they went and did the Grand Prix interview before, like between like after. Okay, so for those that don't watch Stardom, 5-star Grand Prix is basically a G1 C2 round robin tournament. On the final night of the Grand Prix, after everybody wrestles their last match in their block, and then after however it shakes down, the main event is block 1 versus block 2 winner. And before the match starts, they do backstage interviews with each wrestler. They started doing that in 2021. Most famous one, notably, is the one with Shuri, where Shuri had to go to a 20-minute draw with Takumi Iroha in an absolute war, one of the best matches of 2021. And then, like, has to come out there and face a fresh Momo Watanabe who had no match because she had an injury situation. So, like, that got her basically automatic 2 points. She just had to basically walk through. So yeah, Ospreay doing the blood, like bleeding from his head as he's cutting the promo. I was like, this was my mind was like, this almost like the Grand Prix pre-match final interview. And then Rich me goes, I think he said something like Ospreay's in his Shuri bag. I was like, yep.
I was like, Shuri interview.
We had the same thought. Had the same exact thought. And it worked great.
I just texted Shuri interview.
Okay, yeah. It just
man had his head wrapped up like Terry Funk, bro. He cut this pro on the camera. I was like, bro, I ain't seen no shit like this since The Rock at Royal Rumble 2013. Like, bro, I was fully convinced.
When he cut that hard time,
I was fully convinced he was winning.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. It was great, and like for the it just another part of the people that aren't in on Ospreay is like. He does a lot of the stuff you actually like if you watched him. I understand you see the highlights and think that's not pro wrestling, that's gymnastics or whatever else. I'm not going to argue on that. Sure it is. It's spectacular. If you're not in there for spectacular, cool, whatever else. That dude understands the assignment of why you care about pro wrestling. I get it. But if you watch him enough, you'll get it and you'll let your guard down and you'll be like, he might, you might actually get into his stuff. You might, but at this point, we're only talking to like the people that are on the grift anyway, right? Like, I don't know how anybody can watch Will Ospreay.
I think he's converted a lot of people over the last 5-6
years. Sorry,
I think he's converted a lot of people over this year that haven't necessarily always said the best things about him. Yeah.
I just don't know how you watch Will Ospreay over the last like 5-6 years and come to and say like. And be like, nah, I just don't. Like, I don't think you're engaging in good faith. I just don't. He's been the best. He's been the best. He's been the best worker. He's been the best worker over the last half decade. He just has. So, bro, and like, we'll get to the Okada thing later in the show. But yeah, man, this was awesome.
And Kyle Fletcher, I don't want to leave him out. Like, awesome work all throughout the C2. Ran off with the block, even though he had like the cheating gimmick throughout it. He was still putting in the work, like to have like good matches with Okada. The Mark Briscoe match is getting a lot of people talking about it. He had a match with Garcia on the final night at Hammerstein. So like he was, just like he was sensational. Like they decided they were going to get this guy a big push throughout this tournament, and they did the obvious. He
beat Garcia, right?
Yeah, he beat Garcia.
Well, I guess that means after this he gets a match with Garcia for the belt.
They should do that. They should think about it. But up next we had Kazuchika Okada taking on Ricochet. And this is a match I wanted to see for a long time, going back years and years. I don't think they gave us like a super match or anything.
They weren't trying.
Yeah, they gave us a good match or whatever, but not on the level like of obviously the previous match or anything like that.
Yeah, it's the thing where it's like, okay, so we have Okada, he's a heel, and then we have Ricochet who's being a heel. We know who's going to get booed and cheered in this situation. Let's run with that for a while, and then we'll get out of here, and then we'll move forward. But yeah, man, I thought this match was
playing heavily towards the babyface side. Like, there's a slap in the back of the bald head. Like, as a bald man, James, like, what do you make of all this Ricochet stuff? Like, with they getting on him for the ball. Does anybody ever slapped you in the head like that, or?
Yes, but it's retaliation. Like, so at my mother's wedding in 2020, Jason, another one of the members. Me and him have this thing where me and him like goof around, and like I slapped the back of his head while he was at y'all table, right? And then later in the night he slapped me back, and then we shook hands and said truce, because me and him goof around like that. But so so yeah, I've had my bald head slapped before. Yes. Now keep in mind, the funny part is like I'm 6'4" right now, or last time I was on a scale I weighed 275 pounds. Jason is like 5'9", college cornerback, right? Like he has little man syndrome. He's always had little man syndrome. That's why it's funny. Like I slapped him back of his head because I knew he wasn't gonna like it, and then he got back. And for me, it's like me and Jason never fight. We love each other, but like I play games with him because I know it bothered him so much. He got me back because I knew he was gonna burn him the rest of the night if he never got me back. So that's me, his relationship. So yeah. That's anyway. I don't know how we move on from here, but yeah, it's funny. You know what it made me think of? I don't know if you remember this. This is a long time ago. This was New Day versus Primetime Players, and Kofi slapped the back of Titus O'Neil's head, and Titus lost his fucking mind.
I don't remember this.
It was a comedy spot. It was okay. It was the same thing. It was like the do this to make him blow steam out his ears, and then like basically Titus like hulked up from there. Like, and I remember it fucked because he slapped the shit. It was loud as hell. If
anybody can find this, put this link in the Discord.
Bro, it was so fucking funny. And that's the first thing I thought of was like, oh, I don't know. There's no way Okada and Ricochet. They're not the first person to slap the back of someone's head, but obviously, like, it was just funny as hell the way he ran the ropes and then did it. Like, Okada, he wants to be doing the comedy fuck off thing. He's really fun at it. He's really good at it. And like they got a lot out of that at the beginning of this throughout that match or whatever. It was ultimately they ended up giving you a really good match, and then they moved on because like the whole thing wasn't try to give a super match and then move on and then go from there. It was like Okada is the best tournament. They're trying to sell you Okada is the best tournament wrestler ever. He's gonna beat Ricochet, and upon that failure, then leads into
So Black Sabre Jr. said Okada said I only turn up for Will. So Ricochet's standing out there, and all of a sudden Swerve's music hits. A few weeks ago, they kind of foreshadowed this shit where Ricochet was like, "I'm gonna win this," and because you didn't last year, and Swerve was like, "Not only are you not gonna win, I'm gonna be there to see it." Like, and then he pulls up, and then he essentially is like, "You said you was gonna do something, but you didn't do it," and then he was like, "Well, let's bring Nana out." Prince Nana comes out here and he's got a fucking bucket of
he has like
toilet paper,
like a red wagon of rolls of toilet paper. Yes, and he hands them out to fans all around the ring.
All the fans around the ring, and then essentially, Swerve wants to wish this man a happy New Year. Say we're gonna clean this shit up, essentially. And how do you clean this shit up? Essentially, you're gonna need the toilet paper. So Swerve counts to 3 like Drew McIntyre, and and the crowd pelts this man with toilet paper, and Ricochet is furious.
Hold on.
Furious.
I don't know about the pelt word, but the visual is, if you ever watch Japanese wrestling, it looks like everyone's throwing white streamers into the ring. It was fucking hilarious. And Ricochet they show the camera angle of him. He's fuming. he's quietly fuming with all the paper, all the toilet paper,
rage
covered over his body. I was like, this is so great. Like when Ricochet gets his lit back on him, like, bro, whatever happens, right? But whatever set they're setting up, this potential to be like, after whatever happens is like, Ricochet has had more growth from August when he showed up in AEW until what will be, what I'm imagining, sometime coming soon, weeks or a month or whatever else, when he gets his lit back. He's going to have more character growth in AEW from being, I'm Ricochet to I'm a dick to I've been shown the errors of my ways. I've been made fun of to I'm going to snap and be serious. He's had more of a character growth and arc already than he had in the main roster. And he was on the main roster in 2019.
James, he never had a story that was about him whatsoever.
Remember when he was cucking Mike Bennett with Maria Kanellis? Remember that?
Can't say I do. But,
remember Maria Kanellis was doing a whole skit of like, I'm pregnant, but like Mike Bennett's not the father.
Yeah. But that was like everybody.
It was everybody, but I think the first one was Ricochet.
Got you. Yeah. So for me, this is a moment where Ricochet getting radicalized essentially, and it felt like
about that.
It felt like it was. We do. Okay. It felt like Carrie essentially, like they dumped the pig's blood on him, and then he got to stand.
It was an outright embarrassment in front of a whole bunch of people. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got the look. This shit is going from here to here at this point.
And if it's Carrie, he has to get his lick back in outsized fashion. It ain't gonna be hot. It ain't gonna be he gets him back some haha funny way. It's gonna be like you know.
I'm gonna hurt people. That
potentially yes.
That's kind of what he needs to do. So he also has been getting heat elsewhere. All throughout.
Not the good heat neither.
Yeah, all throughout this. He's been engaging online in a way where he ended up retweeting an Andrew Tate post, as well as I think people noticed that he follows him or stuff like that. And he basically responded. The original thing I saw was a guy basically saying, like, you took Samantha from us, like, meaning WWE. Why would I like you or something like that? Then Ricochet responded to him like, well, who else would make me a sandwich, essentially?
Right. And I was like,
and people lost their minds over that. And I was like,
that's all I saw at first. And I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this. Look, I get what he's doing, or I thought I got what he was doing. And I was like, I don't like this. This kind of is lame. It's like, look, man, you are save the bit for on camera, right? And then I later find out that he retweeted Andrew Tate. I was like, in conjunction with his tweet, I was like, oh, nah. We can't be doing this. Can't be doing this. This stinks.
I was like, all right. Like when I first saw that first part, I was like, hold on. Everybody's saying the person that is the lame person in this scenario is not the fan that was saying you took Samantha away from W. Y'all are mad at the other guy? I was confused.
Yeah, that is fundamentally like y'all
are lame.
It's like you don't know this person. You just saw an attractive woman on TV and you're upset with her significant other as if he controls her in that kind of way. Nah.
Yeah.
You're a dork.
I kind of feel about it like this, and we talked over the weekend. We were talking with Tanya about it. Yeah. I was like, "Look, I think the problem is him doing the retweet like that and giving it away. If that's the direction that he plans to work things in, I was like, someone should strip mine the assholes of the world, take their characteristics, and like never name it, and be like." Lean in certain directions and make people think that and it's working, but like when you reveal it essentially and show the magic trick, people are going to check out and they're going to think you lame. Like he could have called himself like a high value pro wrestler. He could have started like dressing like the dude. He could be pulled up in some of his cars and stuff like that, and people could have just like made the connection but not really been sure. But he fucked it up. Like, and look. So, sorry, brother. Like once you say you're like, it's so on the nose now.
Right. It's one of those, all right, so Becky Lynch, 2019, right? Like, she was doing some Conor McGregor stuff, obviously. But she never went out there and start, throwing shit at buses with a clique of people. Right now, Gabe Kidd is engaging in some of that. And I think some of it is kind of dumb in the way that I think of like Kobe Covington thinking that like he's doing Conor McGregor. It's like, no, you're not doing Conor McGregor. You're doing something else. It is dumb. Gabe Kidd's not doing what Kobe Covington's doing. What I'm saying is like, you think you're doing something a certain way, but it's so what do you call it? It's so sophomoric that is like you're missing the mark, right? So yeah, like people do this all the time. Right? People do this all the time and find things in life that they find inspiration from, whatever, and add it to what they're doing, right? Like, recently, the New Day split or whatever else. A lot of that is based off of, like, the newest version of Dragon Ball Z. And the way they dress is a part of it, and some of the stuff they have as symbols and, like, Easter eggs, as far as, like, their jewelry, is a part of that, too. Like, saying you don't have to name it. You don't have to just play, hey, this is what we're doing. We're doing the two Gokus right now. They're not doing that. They're just letting you see it through showing like, hey, some of the connections or whatever else. But this is just, and also the part where like the inspiration is you can't say that it's not just fundamentally. If you're gonna do that, what Rich said, you don't want to make the connection a straight line to a person that is involved in sex trafficking right now. That's just dumb. That's fundamentally dumb. And I don't
like you got to be able to throw up the hands and be like, "Who, me?" Like because that's the heat right there.
Right
now, it's just like,
well, it's one thing. Oh, it's what they call it. When you watch something like Law and Order, right? Just when you see the storylines that are ripped from the headlines, right? You want to be able to be like, oh, this reminds me of this, not just like, oh, they're straight up doing this. I don't recall that they did this, but like, I don't want to see the Law and Order where they just straight up did the OJ and Nicole double murder.
Right.
Like that's tasteless. That's flat out tasteless. So yeah, just a bad idea to do it. Just a bad idea to do it.
Yeah.
And it's sad because like I really enjoy what he's been doing, and like people have been giving me like,
and he's getting the right reaction in most cases, in the buildings, in like how the story is going over. It's like, and then there are large people that don't understand that it's working that well, which is I know how it's working well.
Yeah. Like the ones that are grifters be like, oh yeah. So the thing is just for me is like, it's going to still work as long as he keeps
stay away from it. Run the other direction.
As long as he doesn't make the straight line on screen, right? It'll still work, and it's still working or whatever. Because it happened earlier in the weekend, it's still happening. Just look at what happened in the reaction he was getting in the match with Okada. But
follow in Swerve's footsteps. He will lead you to the promised land. Because
Swerve talks about all the stuff he watches, all the media he takes in, and he distills stuff into what he wants to put on screen for his character and his motivation and what he does on TV. But we never, we don't find out about it or realize it for real until after we find out, right? Even the shit that Moxie's doing, right? He ain't drawn a straight line. He hasn't drawn a straight line. People just know what he's doing.
So up next, we got the women's world title match. In the Tijuana street fight located in Orlando, Mariah May and Thunder Rosa in a Come As You Are street fight. Thunder Rosa's daddy was sitting ringside. He couldn't pretend he was nobody else. If he tried, we know who you were, sir. They didn't have to tell us. Like they could have swung the camera around and we could have been like, which one of y'all is it? That's Thunder Rosa's daddy. Nice mustache from Mr. Rosa as well.
That mustache strong as hell. I said in the group chat, I was like, that he looked like the final boss of Asada.
Damn.
Look, you can't tell me he ain't no boss on no grill. Like when I saw him, he reminded me. I sent you a video of the dude he reminded me of that has a well-known like Mexican cuisine YouTube channel. Look, man, I use Buddy's recipe sauce, right? Recipe sauce, enchilada sauce recipe. So like, yeah, but I just got a good laugh out of it because it's like brought your dad out and they go, they finna get heat, they finna use it to get some heat. I wondered like, was it going to be some physical interaction or whatever? Then I saw how, like, the height disparity between Mariah and Mr. Rosa or Mr. Thunder, and I was like, nah, Senior Thunder, I was like, nah, they ain't finna do that. They ain't finna do that.
Yeah, like, I found this match kind of enjoyable. I like the physicality. They was hitting each other with shit. They wasn't running from it.
Bro,
and it was taking some bumps
after. Okay, so the first time they went through the tacks, right? Did you notice how many tacks were in Rosa's head?
I saw they were all on her back, but then you
can see it, and you can see him like in the parts of the brain. I was like, oh man, that's.
I noticed Aubrey. She was just like, fuck it. 1, 2, right in the tag.
I saw one where she cleared it. I saw one where she cleared it. She got to clear the space, hit 1, 2, and she hit one of them tacks. And it's like, and you can see she was like, she had hit one, and she's like, she cleared it again. Man, that was rough.
Yeah.
And then the dirt in the eyes. I was like, oof. Obviously, that's a work, but whatever. Like that's just like I thought it was a fun match. I would have liked them to have had like a more. I wish they had saved that match. They had a proper match and they had built towards this match. I feel like they would have got more mileage out of this, in front of that crowd, in front of the fans. Cause like, people still respect Thunder Rosa and everything. And like, they should have had a longer feud. Like this felt like a Challenger of the Month type of thing. And I don't feel like people like Hikaru Shida and Thunder Rosa be treated like that. I think they built them enough equity with the crowds and AEW over the years to really be like, yeah, she's probably going to lose, but like, give this a proper build type of thing.
Yeah. Mariah May is successful here. Rolls on. I think, a lot of her reign is kind of getting looked at as it's like she's running in place until they put Tony back with her.
A lot of people feel like, yep.
And, the division is so segmented and off because it's like, all right, I think, Mercedes is like, if we were to say, hey, if we were to remove the belts, right, and be like, Mariah May and Mercedes Moné have to be booked on the pay-per-views, who do you think is getting the first choice of opponents? I think Mercedes is, personally. I know nothing about that side of creative or anything. So, like, she's like, let me get Statlander, let me get Willow, whatever. I'll rotate in a Brit. I'll wear it and have Brit for this month. But you're gonna give me Hikaru Shida in the meantime and stuff like this, right? Mm-hmm. Like she's got that side. Mariah's like, fuck, I can't wrestle none of them, and then she can't work Brit. Jamie Hayter just came back from injury. They're not doing that because.
Wait, why can't Mariah work Brit?
Do you think Britt Baker's gonna sign up to lay the shoulders there? And it's a heel thing. It's that's a little. It's too much.
I mean, never mind. The people that seen that Britt Baker ever has problems putting over, like, they don't look like Mariah May.
So, like, there's been some. Do
we need to move on?
You stupid.
Do we need to move on?
We need to keep that. But I think in this case, there have been, like, Anna Jay got to wrestle Mercedes, Anna Jay got to wrestle Mariah.
Yeah.
So the people you end up in these spots are like the Anna Jay types, because, like, Jamie Hayter, are you gonna, like, do a match between her and Mariah before the Tony match?
No. That should be built towards. That shouldn't be something like, same thing with Shida and Riho and Jamie Hayter, all in that thing where it's like, they're former champions, the crowd respects them, these are things to be properly built towards. Like, and also is more begging the question when it comes to Jamie. Like, Jamie's back, Jamie has lost the title, or whatever else, and then went off and obviously was injured. She hasn't, like, gotten their quest towards the belt.
She got it. Exactly. She's not meant to win the belt. That's why.
Right, but at least it's like, okay, this is someone that is a valuable challenger. I
don't think they think about it like that. They would rather not beat one of them and do it later whenever they do want to beat somebody.
Why are the women harder to beat than the men in this company? That makes no sense.
There's less of them. And, you know, to Jamie's credit, like, she's come back in the 70s character thing. I don't know. I think she should make some modifications, but whatever. Well, she's wrestling Julia Hart.
I mean, she's had good matches where she beats the hell out of people, but it's like, the Penelope Ford thing.
Right. So you see the people, like, they got to pull people out of mothballs to work with Jamie, and then the other people that there's, like, you know, Mariah, they had to get Mina Shirakawa. They had her working with Queen Eminata. Like, they're pulling out, like, scraps from, like, the bottom of the division, quote unquote. And then Thunder Rosa happened to be right here. We didn't see, like, a Mercedes Thunder Rosa or anything, but now maybe she slides down and gets some Mercedes, but I think they're doing another Statlander or Mercedes. There's a lot of moving parts in the women's division, and it's like, I don't want to know how any of it works. Like, and then there's Athena, who can never get out of Ring of Honor. So, like, imagine adding her in that, and then think about why she's in Ring of Honor. Because if she wasn't in Ring of Honor, where would she be? She would be another person we're talking about. Yeah. Like, where do we put them?
Yeah, and like, I still have no, like, good answer for why Statlander's a good, like, I understand it looks like they're trying to put her, she made the save for Willow a week or two ago, but it's like, okay.
Yeah, they're friends again.
Like, what? Like, so much stuff just left on the table there. As far as reconciliation, redemption, all of that. It's, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, speaking of shit that was left on the table, perhaps far too long, MJF versus Adam Cole. My God, I saw this match. They only went 14 minutes. I felt like it would never end. Adam Cole loses to MJF here. They do double juice that is completely unearned, especially when you look at it compared to the first match. Adam Cole gets a little splash of blood on his head. MJF matches a little bit better, but at that point, they're not wrestling nearly as physically. They're not, like, wrestling nearly that hard as far as effort wise. And it's just like, damn, we had to do this and wait for this still. And MJF on fourth in the middle of the show, man, these boys put this 52-cent stamp on it, I think. And then, you know, they did the finish, and then, like, if MJF's going to go over, he'll let you do the beatdown after the match. And we got 5 niggas standing tall that I don't give a fuck about. I think Adam Cole might want to, like, how do we convince him to, you know, look in the mirror? You know, how do we convince him to take more time off? How do we convince him to hit the lottery?
No, that's not, no, Rich. I think that we have found a perfect place for him to be. Like, you say you don't care about what they're doing with the United Kingdom. I don't necessarily care about what they're doing with Taven and Bennett, but bringing the Undisputed Era back together, it's perfect time. You got Kyle O'Reilly, you got Roderick Strong, you got one of the best tag teams I've ever seen in my life. Hey, Adam Cole, come grab this damn trio's tag rope. That's where it needs to go. Send your ass over there and let Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong carry his ass while he can be the charismatic one with the nice hair and the blue eyes.
Black Sabre Jr., maybe he could be a manager. Damn. Look, I think this program was a net negative for them both. They dribbled the ball out, like, on this shit. Like,
there was no reason for them to ever go back to it. After they got the fortuitous break from the injuries or whatever else, they should never came back to it.
Yeah. And I think they're separated. I think this is it, shockingly. And I don't know what was accomplished. Like, MJF got his Dynamite ring again and taking up Dynamite segments with this shit nobody cares about. He's got to go in a complete different direction. And, you know, I kind of got an idea of what's going on, so I won't I don't really have a creative way to talk around it, so I'll just move forward. But I think Adam Cole has major questions about his future value in this company. He just looks shattered, like he's a shell of himself at this point.
Yeah, it looks like someone not meant to be in singles action in AEW. Yeah, grab a tag rope.
International Championship match. Konosuke Takeshita versus Powerhouse Hobbs. This match was on the borderline of falling apart, but I don't think ever did. And I think it actually turned into something really passable. And I think
more than passable.
Yeah, I thought the match was really good. I had fun watching this.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I thought Hobbs had. I think Hobbs just needs to stop listening to the agents. Because I think the agents are trying to convince him to sell so much, and that's what'll make people love him. No, the crowd gets quiet when he does that. When he hulks up, they have attached the meat thing to him, right?
Yeah.
So just like Ricochet, when they were chanting bald at him,
run with it.
They are trying to engage with Hobbs in a certain way. He needs to be having short, explosive matches that are 5 to 7 minutes, where he's shoulder blocking motherfuckers, clotheslining them, power slamming them. It's nothing but big.
He needs to wrestle like he's a never open weight wrestler.
Correct. He does not need to be laying on the ground, struggling and trying to fight from underneath. No, they're trying to tell you something. And to Takesha's credit, Takesha's obviously willing to stand in there and trade with them. They did a lot of exactly. Hobbs needs an Ishii match. Exactly. Send him in there with Ishii and be like, and find the blueprint for what to do with Hobbs, because the crowd likes him.
Yeah.
And I think that, I think in Takesha's case, Takesha, obviously knows what the fuck's going on. It's all right, let's just hit each other. We'll do big slams. And that top rope one they did was crazy. That power slam and shit.
Yeah.
And, I thought it was really good. Was it Takesha's best match? I don't think it was his best match,
no.
But I would probably went 3 3/4 on this.
Right. That's where I'm on it. Yeah. But that's the thing. This is a match that's there's a storyline of the Catalyst fallout or whatever else. And obviously we know Takesha has to go to Wrestle Kingdom against Shingo and might have to defend it against Ishii at Wrestle Dynasty. So it's I'm pretty sure that he's winning here. But it was weird at the beginning. I think I don't know where we go with Hobbs after this, but there is a spot, as you mentioned, that role of he's a house wrestler that kicks people's asses, because we don't really have one right now in AEW.
Yeah, and big guys tend to get pushed like that in AEW for whatever reason, but
he said Black Sabre Jr. said he needs to study Kitamiya. Nah, he lose too much. Nah. No disrespect. He's great. I love him. He lose too much.
So the more we can get him not working like a guy that spent a decade and a half in WWE or something, and we need to keep him we need to keep this man locked, we need to show, hey, you ever seen Kenzo Kobashi?
I would literally want to say that we need to start seeing him Kobashi matches. Bro, because there's some because Kobashi earlier today tweeted out a documentary about him that's 40 minutes long about how he beat cancer, and I haven't watched it yet, but I was literally thinking about Kobashi today. And earlier this week I sent out the picture of Kobashi claws. So yeah.
We have him, obviously just show him, the Ishii never matches, and there's a specific match, Ishii versus Goto. I think it's 2018. It's 11 minutes long. Bell rings, these niggas charge at each other just with the shoulders, and it's just that's the key for him. That's Rich, if he's give me 11 minutes and just empty the tank, niggas will go crazy for him.
Rich, I got a match for you. From the Sumo Hall shows from Stardom in 2022 and what was it, April? That Mirai versus Ida match. Send them that.
Mirai versus Ida.
The one where I lost my mind and I was they may as well.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they may as well have started a women's never open weight division. Yeah, one of those. One of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like there's absolutely a path for him being like the mid card, explosive, big hoss match wrestler. Yeah, like this is like a role that like Wardlow would be having if he was on TV or should have been having. Or
and
Kill Switch.
He couldn't figure that out because
Archer.
Because people started telling him he needs to sell and shit. He started listening to the agents and all that shit and not doing flips no more and not doing cool shit. If Powerhouse House was just like, fuck that, I'm only doing the cool shit. I'm not writhing in pain, on the mat. No. What?
And if you do, it's for short spurts.
It's for a great reason.
It's for short spurts to change momentum in the match.
TBS Championship match. Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander. 24-35. Sensational match. Better than their match last month, in my opinion. This felt like a big time match here when it got in the ring. And man, I started thinking about it, right? And I had this thought right before the match started. I was like, and I sent a tweet out. I was like, we get another one of these with Chris Statlander. I'm going to start telling y'all who she's we're going to start talking about Mercedes' best all-time opponents, and I'm going to start telling y'all who she's better than. And you tell me the Mercedes-Charlotte match that is going off as much as this one.
Can't really say.
Can't
really say. Obviously there's certain tiers of Mercedes match with different opponents, but as far as like someone having two of them, I think she has the best two Mercedes matches with anybody. Bayley might be the exception. That might be the only exception.
So I'm trying to think of a really great main roster Sasha Bayley match that I love.
No, I want to talk about the NXT ones.
I'm about to say I can't think of those.
I want to talk about Brooklyn in the Iron One match. That's the only two that's the only one I'm thinking about. NXT.
And I honestly think like those have been like, I don't know about match, but it's like at least on par.
Yeah.
And like this one, so just tons of creativity. Like, and when I see a Mercedes match that I really like, I look at her using the environment to her advantage or whatever, like to make up for, the size, to make up for anything. Like she comes up with creative ways to use the ropes. She used the ring itself this time where she slid out the ring, grabbed the skirt or whatever, and then the whole deal with tying up the boot in the X part of the ring to where she was stuck. And then eventually to do like, I think it was I don't know if it was a meteor or it was a double foot stomp, but it was so natural feeling. And ultimately, she ended up winning with that seat belt, but they did some crazy shit. She did an Owen Hart pile driver on the apron, like to Statlander. Statlander doing the F5s, package pile drivers. I love this match. This was like, hey, yo, this like we're talking about Mercedes. This is the shit. It's like she's healthy. It feels like all the way. Like she's like got rid of the doubts, and it's like, yo,
she got rid of the stupid heel heater thing too.
Yep.
So,
2 clean wins back to back, and it's like, and I think a trilogy's coming here.
So, I'm with Mercedes, like, cause I'm watching the match, like the crowd was not into it at the beginning. Like they had to work to get the crowd into it. And then the crowd started living and dying with the match. But like the crowd just wasn't into it because it's like they just saw it. You already kind of have an idea of who the winner is going to be. Otherwise, we would have switched the titles before. And then like the feud was weird, or as far as the build was weird. Which Mercedes not good at building feuds for match. She's a big match, bell rings, go off wrestler. So yeah, like it's really impressive that she keeps digging herself out these holes she's creating on TV, on Dynamites. It's like, maybe you should not do that. And then, like, you main event the show. Like we are, like, I don't know, like, I don't know if it's Toni Storm. I don't know who it is, but, like, she's going to get a feud with somebody that's going to be like, we're not doing bad television. And then when she does, and it culminates in a match and goes the fuck off, people will be like, oh yeah, She's more than just a good match wrestler. But yeah, man, this match was fun as hell, man. This match was fun as hell. I'd have to rewatch both of them back and be like, which one's better? But like, they're both awesome matches.
Yeah, like this is like, yo, like
I like to finish this one better. Last one was kind of like, seems kind of cheap.
Yeah, I thought Statlander was excellent in this. She's like just like the quintessential power wrestler, I think, for a woman. It feels like between her and Willow, it's like Mercedes. Like I can easily see. Like I think we may have talked about it when she originally signed with AEW. It's like, all right, if you lay the list down of the people she can work with.
Mm-hmm.
Once she eventually started working with Statlander and Willow and stuff like that, you could easily be like, oh, this is why she picked what she picked, among other things.
Bro, it was like, okay, potentially, like the potential, right? Riho, Sheeta, Rosa, Toni Storm, Statlander, Willow, and that don't even get into like people like
Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie Hayter is on the list. Like, it won't even get into like a Serena Deeb she can wrestle, or someone like Amanada,
Sakura.
Like these are all fresh matchups for her to do, and then it's like, and then she can also still do the New Japan Stardom stuff. What's up, Azuki?
Right.
I haven't seen that match yet. People were like, that match is fucking incredible. So yeah, like
she's on a hot streak. It feels like she got her confidence, I think, and that's good for her. Like, because she when she's feeling herself, and like when she's got the NBA Jam, she's on fire. Like, she's a different level weapon, I think, you get to deploy. Continental Classic Championship between Kazuchika Okada and Will Ospreay. 19 minutes. Okada cut a promo as well, leading into this, and he was like, "You my little brother, essentially, and a bitch." So walks out there. Ospreay comes out, and man, I feel like we are transformed into like it was like as good as like Mercedes and Statler was. It was like, all right, we're gonna lift the ring off the ground like 4 feet, and now we're gonna have the Continental Classic final in that.
There's a story, there's a story there. There's a history there. It goes years. It goes beyond just the AEW promotion, right? Like, and then you throw in the element of like what Ospreay went through to beat Fletcher. Like Fletcher, like he didn't beat Fletcher like with I finished him with Stormbreaker or a Hidden Blade. It's like we were in a menagerie of fucking reversals, and I end up catching him in a Styles Clash and beating him, right? And I'm bloodied. And then he comes out down to the ring, and he tries to do his entrance or whatever else, like he's a WWE geek that's told don't sell anything if you have 2 matches one night. And then he starts stumbling around because of the sell the blood loss. It's well done. And then Okada comes out.
And that was his out. So, but whatever.
What you say?
Yeah, I said that was his out.
Yeah.
So, but
that's why he didn't. That's why he didn't, wash the blood off. He let it stay there so people remember. He was bleeding down. He's bleeding up buckets before this match.
I had somebody on the phone with me throughout this whole match, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm giving the play-by-play to them and all that, and then I'm just popping and going crazy. That double drop kick sequence where he catches him out the corner, I just like levitated off my chair. Like it was so simple but so brilliant at the same time. Just how they shot it, how the quick reaction to it, and the way the crowd responded. I was like, this is the pro wrestling that I love right here. This is what makes me feel like when I'm watching some shit, I'm like, yo, it don't get no better than this.
Drop kicking the Oz cutter is always going to work for me. It's always going to work. And then he got him up for, he already hit a Styles Clash. Not Styles Clash. He already hit a Stormbreaker, and he gets him for a second one. And then he fucking lucha arm drags off his shoulders, and then he catches him, ducks underneath, and then hits him or slips, and then hits him with the freaking Rainmaker. And then, like, that's basically the beginning of the end. Ospreay has had the best pay-per-view year ever. No one's ever had a year on pro wrestling pay-per-view better than this. 96 Shawn Michaels, 96 Rey Mysterio, 2016 AJ Styles, whoever else you want to throw out from ROH that I'm leaving out or whatever else. Like, pull it up, go through it. It's disgusting. It's Takeshita. It's Swerve. It's MJF. Like,
Danielson.
It's Danielson. It's Fletcher. It's Fletcher in Okada. Like, man, we're all
like,
talking about.
I saw this shit.
The worst match, MJF match. That's 4.25.
And the
and everything else clears that easily.
I'm like, yo, this man is gonna get possibly above 10 stars in a single night.
Yeah,
like I look, the way I was like rocking with him at you know, after the promo, I felt like he was gonna win. I was shocked when he lost, right? But I was just like, wow, like I was in
They're
awe.
saving that. There's New Japan. Will Ospreay, Kazuchika Okada, Gato, and Tony Khan are saving the big win for Will Ospreay over Okada. They've been saving this since 2022.
I was shocked
both promotions.
I was shocked they did this match kind of on no notice. You know, but I guess the C2 is the advertisement that you might get this match at the end. Right,
but that is the reason why and you look back at him like, I would like to see him win. Like, that's the reason why he lost. It's like, when he gets the big win, it's going to be built towards. It's not going to be this was built towards is a tournament, but you got a point, like, it's going to be a singles thing or for a belt, and it's going to be on one of the big shows. It's going to be on an All In or a Forbidden Door or some shit like that.
Yeah. Ospreay, phenomenal tournament. This was Okada's probably maybe second great match of the tournament. He wins the tournament, and, you know, they basically go and get your tape decks ready from here on out. They have Christopher Daniels walk out, and he said, I would love to give you the championship, congratulated him, but I can't because I'm no longer
fired.
I've
been fired. Why are you out here then?
I'm no longer an EVP. He said, but this man is. And then, boom, battle cry drops. Crowd goes insane, loses it. The middle of the whole joint opens up. Out comes Kenny Omega with the suit on. Much different look, kind of than, you know, he had, you know, been displaying. Walks out to the ring, grabs the belt, gives it to Okada. They're staring at each other, milking it. The crowd is going crazy still.
Do you see any of the clips of the streamers? Like the people that are watching
streamers? No, I didn't.
I saw two clips. I saw one dude lose his mind, jump up and hoot and howl, jump out of his gamer chair. And I saw a woman, she's like, "Oh, Kitty." I fucking died laughing. Good for them. Look, everybody, I'm glad that people get their, you know, someone they've cared about has been gone for so fucking long is back.
They swing the camera around and they show the All In sign between them, and they're like, "Hey, motherfucker, you want to come to Texas?" Like, you see, Okada Omega 5. So,
right,
I see this. I'm very happy. I'm still on the phone, by the way. I'm very happy with just seeing Kenny. I popped for him, obviously, and all that, and then I'm just like, so a thought hits me, right, and I'm like, damn, they should have did Okada and Ospreay last and close the show with this. And I was like, And then I was like, all right. And then I was like, I know Edge is coming out. I know Edge is coming out. So I'm like, hold on. Like, I start like putting it back together in my head. And I'm like, so they did the Okada and Ospreay match, super fire, beat Will, obviously to set up this thing, right? And I'm like, well, why would they do this? They made sure they got it out in the media pretty early that Kenny Omega would be back. A couple weeks ago, it's been talked about in the dirt sheets, stuff like that. They made sure that they responded to people being upset that he did an angle in New Japan with physicality and all that. And I feel like the only reason this was done was to dim whatever he had going on in New Japan. Next week, he was going to return to AEW, quote unquote, first, right? And what's happening, I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, why are they acting like he's some kind of non-wrestler? Why are they like saying we don't know when this guy's going to be cleared? It's almost like there's two different kayfabes. I started thinking about it, I was like, this is an insult. Listen, people have tried to tell me that they've promoted the match that he's going to be in with Gabe Kidd. I don't remember that at all. I don't remember that at all. They were acting like this man was like, they don't know essentially his status. I'm like, bro, he's fucking wrestling in a week. He's going to main event the Dome. What the fuck is happening? New Japan Pro Wrestling is on Twitter 7 minutes later, and they're like, get ready to witness the in-ring return of Kenny Omega next week against Gabe Kidd. So, like, asking me to ignore this stuff is fucking ridiculous on top of slotting this behind Adam Copeland near 2025. And I know people are going to throw this thing at me like, well, in the immediate future, we need to have Copeland and the FTR guys against the Death Riders. And we'll get to the Death Riders with the main event in just a minute. But I'm like, well, are you more concerned about your quote unquote immediate future or possibly the biggest show you've done on this continent?
So
with All In.
So
with
I have
Okada
two,
Omega.
So I have two thoughts on this. One, I don't disagree with you.
And I'm tired of them putting Kenny Omega behind these old ass niggas from WWE. Where I'm just gonna crack it open all the way. Copeland has done a phenomenal job in AEW so far. He's come in, he's worked hard, he's worked with various levels of opponents and still managed to get himself over. I watched a post interview. Like, it kind of reminded me of like the same booking strategy that happened with CM Punk, where it was like they're gonna put him with all these people that are away from all the real people, and then you bring them in and it's like, oh, straight for the belt now. And I'm not concerned that Copeland's actually going to win the belt or anything, but I'm like, we're positioning, like, if I was, like, we've heard all the talk about Kenny Omega while he's been gone all year, right? Like, everybody's looking for the feeling. It's that fucking guy. Everybody's looking for the quote-unquote ace and all this stuff. It's that fucking guy. It's this guy with all the best matches in the history of the promotion. Like, pretty much, that whole thing was built. The elite. It's him. And how a lot of us have felt like, yeah, he hasn't really been treated like that. Like, they haven't committed to him the same way. We always talk about the difference between New Japan Kenny Omega and AEW Kenny Omega. If you were trying to promote this guy as the biggest thing, you would not send him out there in the semi-main event position behind Adam Copeland. You just wouldn't do it.
Well, there's two thoughts on that, right? It's like, one, do you want the tournament final for the number 3 belt at best in the company over the top belt? Or do you want to put that in the main event? Now,
they had no problem.
hold on.
They had no problem putting Swerve on with Christian behind Death Riders and what was that? That Anarchy in the Arena stuff. They had no problem with that. Like, they have put the AEW World Championship not in the main event position before, especially with this cold ass title match they had going into it.
You still haven't let me. I haven't finished it.
My fault.
There's also this part, right? Because we're in America, you have to have something interesting or really, what do you call it? Definitive to end the show on the closing credits to go before you go black. Edge showing up with FTR, rated FTR, to immediately to program or whatever else. That's more definitive on a close than the normal, after a big show in New Japan, the next thing comes out. For me, I would have done it that way, but we keep seeing this promotion say, like, the things that made people want to watch this promotion, the people that came from there, we don't want to do it that way because that's not how they do it in Stamford, Connecticut. So
they didn't even have to. They could have done the same angle, James. Why they have to do it on this show?
Rich,
they could have done it on another show.
Rich, I'm not saying that's why they did it, or they should be excused for it, because after all, This show ended at like 11:30. They had all the fucking time in the world to have done a New Japan next challenger or next big thing walkout with Omega and Okada, and then walked out and had Omega walk back up the ramp or whatever else, and they went black on Omega. They could have did it that way too. They chose not to. They had all the time in the world. They closed this show with like 20 minutes left. They had more than 20 minutes of TV time.
Quite frankly,
I'm tired of this company trying to forget what like the heartbeat of the promotion is. Like, this is all of wrestling. This promotion is all of wrestling. Stop doing these things that are fucking WWE influence all the time. Stop doing it. Doing it here and there, fine. That was automatically the choice. My automatic choice was we needed something definitive at the end of the show. That's not definitive enough. That is, he's back, but he gotta wait, or whatever else, or the interaction's not going to be immediate, so like quick after the final match. That's why they went with it. And I gotta say, give me Ospreay, Okada, and Omega over Orange Cassidy after he just lost the last pay-per-view match, Jon Moxley hiding the fucking belt, Jay White getting fucking charity jobs or getting charity W's from Adam Page, and Adam Page being jobbed out in the last 2 months of the year. Give me the three best wrestlers of my last decade instead. Thank you. Please, Tony Khan. Fuck.
They have to stop. They're disrespecting Kenny Omega, whether they know it or not. Like, to be out for diverticulitis where you might die, right? This is not a knee injury. This is not a this is not a broken wrist or something. This is...
He didn't wrestle all year.
He didn't wrestle all year. And he's working a match next week. It's like, the other part of this is like, why are you not helping like build this up? It will be easier if you build it all up together and acknowledge these things.
Rich,
but it's like they want it to be this own like little world where they treat him like he's a non-wrestler, but it's like I'm not dumb.
It was one thing when he did the match at Wrestle Kingdom with Ospreay in 2023. It began in 2023. It's one thing when it's that it is a New Japan only show. This show, Wrestle Dynasty, has your fucking name on it, and he's in the main event, and you were acting, and then you did the whole thing where it's like, I don't know if he's even cleared. Bullshit. If you want to not acknowledge that he's back or whatever else, or that or not acknowledge that like he's been back and like you haven't promoted or whatever else, fine. He's in front of your face, and you play dumb like you don't know he's gonna wrestle in a week. On your own fucking show that has your promotion's name on it. That's dumb. It's like, it's always been annoying that you have a partnership with AEW. You send Danielson or Claudio or Moxley or Kenny Omega to New Japan, then you don't promote it. Or FTR. FTR was in the dome when they were in the dome, right? Got
they were there together.
Right.
Shit, they probably flew over there together. Like, right. Flew home together.
It's not about Kenny Omega. These are your wrestlers you're sending over to the other side of the world to wrestle with your partner. Promote the fucking thing, and even that was bad and dumb or ill advised, whatever else. This show is actually your show. Your name is on the damn thing. What are we doing?
Like, they've never tried to go
on this show.
Look,
the Young Bucks are on this show.
Dave, back to the Kenny Omega Porch comment. I got to wake all this up. Like, I've seen so many people be like, what's wrong with what happened? And just, they're caught in the afterglow of Kenny Omega coming back and being so happy to see him and stuff like that.
You're promoting a match that probably is going to go on second to last on a show that's going to be the biggest gate you've ever done in this continent. And like, you're promoting it that far in advance. You're promoting it like 7 months in advance. Like, why would this not end the show? Outside of being WWE brand.
It's like, why would it not end the show? And it's like, the one time, like, I think you should try to push them like an ace because they never have. I'll repeat that again, James. They never have.
It's like one of those things like, okay, there's what you do, there's what you say, and there's what you do. And what you have done by not bringing him out tells me y'all don't think that he's going to be able to do this very long, or you're not, or maybe if he does, you're not going to push him as like a main of, or like a top star. Like you're pushing like a semi-main event act or something below that. And that is the problem, or whatever else. You never took advantage of this. And you know who else you never took advantage of this with? Cody Rhodes either. How did that work out when he's in WWE right now?
Look, I was just going to bring Cody Rhodes up. I was like, sometimes I wish Kenny Omega had a little bit more Cody in him. As far as, like, we knew the Cody Ace shit in AEW was fraudulent, right?
Oh, yeah, when he said that shit to Darby. Oh my God.
Yeah, that, and you know, just being the front-facing person.
You're not the Ace, Darby. Nigga, neither are you. You're with the TNT title in your hand. Shut up.
Look, being the front-facing person and wearing the suits and making it look like he started AEW, James. Like we knew that was bullshit. Right. But, like, I kind of admire the way he's a carny motherfucker. So, like, he worked people in a sense like that. To me, Kenny Omega seems like just such a kind of low-key kind of guy that he's not going to lean into something like that.
You're taking advantage of the part where he doesn't give a fuck about these kind of things.
Yeah, like, and it's like, okay, he shows up, James. What's he wearing? He's not wearing basketball shorts. He's wearing a suit. Maybe he's trying to tell you he wants to try that position a little bit, but it might be too little too late.
I thought he was going to join Hurt Syndicate, but...
Yeah. Yeah. He would have to have a tie on. We have to get a tie for Kenny with that stuff. So
we were talking about like when Ricochet if he joins Hurt Syndicate, like they're gonna have like they need a black ass way to initiate him in or whatever else, like something equivalent of like giving him a Rockefeller chain. Yeah. And like in my mind I was thinking like, well, weren't they giving like niggas in G Unit hand tattoos or whatever else, right? And now I'm thinking about like you start doing like hurt like we hurt people are hurt on it, right? So just because it was funny, I was like, all right, because Ricochet light skin, like you have on like Sheldon Benjamin has hurt on his shit, right? On his hand. And then Lashley has big hurt on his hand. And then Ricochet light skin, he say ouch.
Damn. You stupid. You stupid.
But Kenny Omega have ouch on his shit too.
I don't think they are pushing Kenny Omega as a top star. I don't think they particularly care about Kenny Omega. I think they resent Kenny Omega for like he's getting shit because he did his return in New Japan, where they've always booked him better, where he's had better matches, where he's done all this shit. And it all goes back to if you can't feel like you can get the best out of this guy, and by extension, the Young Bucks, by extension, Hangman Page, have we thought about why that may be, James?
My still like, hey man, if you gonna pay them per date, maximize to the best of your ability, not this shit. They ain't maximized none to the best of their ability. None of them.
Look, I'm glad the Elite got their money, because if you have to go through what you went through with them and them possibly going to WWE and Tony Khan knowing he can't allow that to happen, so you gotta pay hand over fist for it, you know, in conjunction with that Punk stuff. You can't afford to lose them, but you don't actually really want to push them the same way. Like, you don't want to go all the way at the top with them. Like, Hangman, bro, we saw with Hangman has been cooled down in a way not seen since Sting in 1998, damn near, over the last 3 to 4 months. This thing with Kenny here, like, we know what people are asking for. James, we know what people are asking for.
Real quick about the Adam Page thing. Do you see people online like complain that Jay White took the pin in this? I was he's beaten Page twice on pay-per-view.
I'll say,
him, I don't give a fuck.
I said, let's look at the candidates.
He's
here.
the least over guy.
Let's look at the candidates. So, like, either you could have pinned Hangman Page and he would have done his third consecutive job on pay-per-view
after main eventing All Out. Yeah.
Who is the most over guy, by the way? Right. You could pin Orange Cassidy, who lost last month. Already was pinned by Moxley, or you can pin White.
Not only was he pinned, he was pinned, and then they poured chemicals down his damn throat.
Right, and so that leaves you with Jay White, who they have to put the other two in the match to sell the match in the first place.
Right.
So, like, White,
do that job.
It's like how that old shit used to go. It's yours. Like this like this L is yours, my friend. But yeah, I just started thinking about all that stuff, and I was like,
also Jay White. Have we talked? We haven't got to that match yet. I'll save that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I just know what a lot of the fans in AEW are vocalizing what they want. They want Kenny Omega push at the top of this promotion, and I hate to break it to y'all, I don't think that's this timeline. Like I think there's stuff going on that's gonna be in books one day and like, yo, that are gonna get written about, and I think we need to come to terms in peace with like finding the art in what Kenny's doing and enjoying it, because he's not going to get the shove from the promotion that's named after the faction that he led. I just don't see it.
Only as a heel.
Yeah.
That's only every time they went with him that way, was when he was a heel. And it wasn't exactly like he was a cleaner. He was out here wearing goofy ass dress shirts and shit and weird boots or whatever else. And being lame on purpose, like he was Jericho or something.
But, you know, it's kind of disheartening. But I've made peace with it. I implore people to accept it. Like,
no, yeah. And also given at this point, at this stage in the game, missed a year, missed time. He was beat the hell up before then, before he put over after he put over Paige. Like he's missed a lot of time over the last 3 years. Like I don't even necessarily know if it was wise for them to say we're going to put the whole company on your back. Why? So you can break down again and be gone for like a year, 18 months this time or next time. Why?
I don't know. If he's good to go, right? I don't understand not trying to build the company around him. At least like, at least in like, you know, the next calendar year or so. Just at least say you did it. But you know,
I mean, that's a better answer than what they're doing right now.
Yeah,
at the top of the card with the belt in the title picture.
4-way match. Jon Moxley defeats Adam Page, Jay White, and Orange Cassidy in an awful match for the AEW World Championship, where niggas is running in.
World title match.
This or the MJF and Jay White, and this one, you know, at least with MJF and Jay White, you can say,
people that cared about that. I don't. Who cared about this one,
bro? I saw them niggas running in, and I was predicting the match. I'm still on the phone, by the way, like with the same person I've been talking to since the last 2 matches, right? And I'm going crazy, popping left and right for all the moves and sequences and explaining them, and then all of a sudden, the way I'm narrating them changes. It sounds like I'm a bored baseball announcer after this. I'm like, oh, this person comes in, turns him around, picks up the weapon, swings at him, gets pulled out the ring, blah, blah, blah. And then I notice myself doing it and call it out. And the only thing they pop for really is Jay White giving Marina Shafir the finishing move. That was the highlight of this match, James. I can remember nothing about this, but more niggas being on this than a lean back remix. Like I kept seeing just people that weren't in the match showing up.
Yep.
And you know, a nothing match, like most 4-ways are. Belts normally don't change hands in these situations, so I wasn't expecting a title change or anything. But this Jon Moxley thing sucks, and it's going to keep going, and I think it's going to go longer than people think. And I think it is a comedy of errors, and I'm waiting for people in the room to recognize what the fuck is going on between this and then Copeland talking about he wants to have gritty NWA title matches with Jon Moxley. Newsflash, Copeland, I don't know if you haven't watched the television. That's not what is happening with Jon Moxley. Also, that is a tab on Peacock. That shit doesn't exist no more. I like the world title matches that Swerve and Will Ospreay were having over the summer. What has happened to that? When we had to watch those long ass shows, James, the long ass AEW pay-per-views that are awesome, and we would get to the end, the final match, and we knew Swerve Strickland was walking out there, right? We'd be like, oh, hell yeah. And the crowd would still be up for all that. Do you feel like the crowd was up for any of this?
No.
This is shambolic. Like Jon Moxley has poisoned his belt.
Is Jon Moxley is Jon Moxley a person that's unaware that he's not a good heel? No. Hold on. Outside of the Shield run that we've seen in his career, has he ever been a good heel?
He was not in WWE, and we thought
hey, that's because Vince got him, gas masks, inoculations. I'm not giving you a reason for why I turned on Seth Rollins the day this like hours after Roman Reigns tells us he's going away to go fight blood cancer. Yeah, we thought
and he wasn't trying. He's trying on this.
Yeah,
it just fucking sucks.
We've seen it be good before in one instance when the casting match was great. So we can't say he's checked out because he wouldn't have been checked out. He wasn't checked out a month ago.
All these riddles. Jim Ross was like, "What's his motivation?" Excalibur, and Excalibur was like, he didn't have an answer for him."
He thinks this shit is good, not giving people a reason for the heat. No, man. If you're not communicating character motivations, you are failing as a storyteller. That's fundamental.
I hated this so much, man. And I was just like, combine this with the angle after the match. FTR's music hits. Sorry, Floyd. I groan. I'm just like, oh, because I already know what that means. And then they cut the lights out. No, the Undertaker's not here. Adam Copeland comes out, music, hitting it, doing his poses and everything. I'm like, so all Jay White, Paige, and Cassidy have been snatched by a fucking spaceship at this point. We don't know where the fuck they at. Then they do the brawl and stuff like that. Whatever, it's a brawl, And then they're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a 6-man tag on Wednesday and all that stuff. And then you're like, they're shooting it and they're setting it off to pair Mox with Copeland. And I'm like, Revolution? God. And, get ready. AEW Revolution, Moxley, Copeland, be there. Square in the middle of WrestleMania season. You're going to fight back with Moxley, Copeland. Moxley, far from his best output right now. Copeland, old as hell. Christian is there also in this match.
Looming with the fucking cash-in thing. Yeah.
I'm like, I just see everything that has to do with this belt and I fucking hate it. Because it stinks of politicking. It stinks of decisions that are not being made in the ring in service of right.
Because Copeland comes out and at the end of it, he cuts the promo at Moxie saying he wants the belt. But what it made sense is they clear the ring, they go off air, Copeland's back, cool, and advertise that Tony Khan's because he just came out there and thought it was he liked what he saw in the ring between everybody fighting trios match. And then after the trios match, Copeland gets a return win and then says, hey, I'm going, I want you, Moxley, or whatever else. Copeland has done jack shit to deserve a title shot. Wins and losses do not matter when it comes to the top titles in this company anymore.
Yeah.
It is just so
he's in the post-show press conference talking about wanting to fight Moxley for the belt and stuff like that. I'm like, well, why? Well, not even why, but it's just I have to pretend I'm not hearing this, because it sounds like CM Punk shit. It sounds like these are the decisions where this company went wrong when it started, in the summer of 2022, they started putting the belt on people to pacify people. And Moxley has included in this back then as well. So
oh yeah, I need my title shot. I need my title reigns to mean something. So let's do the Rocky 3 thing. Yeah.
And I'm not under contract, so I got this here leverage. So from there, MJF with the biggest the extension he signed, you know, your reward, a year-long title reign. Like, the only shit that like has kind of felt like it's on the up and up, Samoa Joe and Swerve. And then Danielson's on his way out the door. You do the big retirement for him.
Yeah.
And the grand idea is to give it to Jon Moxley to do this, to put the belt in the briefcase for months.
Yep.
Good job.
Yep.
This is what we all want to see, ain't it?
Like,
I'm pretending the Continental title is the world title from now on, man. I'm done with this belt.
I don't blame you. I'm not there, but I just this title program from the second it happened was just like, why are they doing this? 4-way, who gives a fuck? We know Moxley's going to retain this thing. Then going straight to Ed, or going straight to Christian, there's like Edge, Christian. Going straight to Copeland is like, he didn't do anything to earn this either. Okay. Like, yeah, they've had smoke with FTR, but what does it got to do with Copeland getting the shot? Put Dax in there then. Oh. Right?
And it's like, and think about the things we saw on this night. We saw Kyle Fletcher fucking going crazy. We saw Okada. We saw Will Ospreay having like two fucking... I'm like, why are we not building a company around that style of shit? That's what the crowd's going the craziest for.
Like,
then,
and outside
and then Kenny Omega walks back into your life, and then we're like, no, we're going to... Niggas that have been in WWE for a minimum of 10 years, this is what we're doing.
I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with it. My problem is he comes
I have a problem
back,
with them choosing these guys
nothing.
over them.
Say again?
I have a problem with them choosing these guys over them repeatedly. And when it comes down to it, he's misreading the fan base over and over. And this is the problem. This is why I said Swerve and Heyman need to main event Wembley, and he didn't do it. And look at us now, like.
Well, so, I still would have did I would still did the whole thing. I just would not have done it turns into my thing. I would have done the Darby thing. That's where they fucked up. Like, they should have handed it down to Darby then, and then had Moxley beat Darby and move on, or whatever else. But like, this whole thing of like, oh, we're kicking Darby's thing down the road is like, okay, what have they done with Darby to make you think he's going to actually now do this? Nothing. Oh, okay. Oh, because he keeps jumping on Claudio's back.
He keeps getting fucked up by them and embarrassed.
Like, what they're trying to do is like the Sting jump out on NWO stuff, except Sting was out here beating these niggas left and right and throwing down the baseball bat, and they out here giving them back fist punches or whatever else. Darby's jumping on these dudes' back, and Claudio's out here accommodating the horse he ride. And
then throwing him down the steps to ensure he is not seen for weeks.
Right. It's
Look, they've about publicly, they've done about as much as they can do to wave the red herring, essentially, to tell you Darby Allin's going to beat him. I don't have any misforgivings about saying that a lot. That's what it looks like. You bring Sting to the press conference and essentially ensure Darby Allin's going to be the champion sometime in 2025. Right, but so it looks like we got to wait till All In.
But what does the television look like?
Trash.
Like you know what they say, it's not the destination, it's the journey. The journey does not look good. The journey does not look fulfilling.
Like, bro,
we're now 2 pay-per-view cycles through this now.
Like, this is a minimum of 6 more months.
They have to abort. I'm sorry, Jon Moxley. Nah. We have to move you down. We have to move this down the card. They have to move this down the card. It's not good enough.
They're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do it. Like, they are committed to this world title in ways, as far as start dates and end dates. They are very committed to these things, right? They should not be. They should rip it up, James. What's this right here?
They should beat him on TV and move on.
Rip it up.
They should beat him on Dynamite and move on.
I've never thought I would feel like this right now. And for a show that I liked, this upset me and had me with a sour taste in my mouth when you combine the Kenny Omega return with this, and then thinking about where we're headed off the branches of this main event for the next 6 months.
Because it's like, look, bro, there's so many other things you could be doing better with this, with the main event. Like, you had Kenny Omega, Okada, Fletcher, and Takeshita on this show. Like, you cannot tell me that this is a satisfactory world title main event. You cannot. I know it's in this promotion. Like, you are deluding yourselves into thinking this is the best you can do. It is not. And if it's the whole thing of John Moxley draws, put him down the card. He can still draw there.
I want to see this buy rate,
right? Like,
because it's real interesting.
Hold on, wait. Chris Jericho, Cody Rhodes, hell, even CM Punk was out here helping draw down the card on AEW pay-per-views. John Moxley can't? If he doesn't have the belt, it can't work. And I'm not, like, no, man, this is not good enough. Especially after we just saw the match he had with Orange Cassidy, and that was great. It'd be one thing if it was like, oh, well, they're doing this, he's your top guy, and whatever else, and they're just riding it, whatever. It's like, no, man, they added 2 more niggas that are great wrestlers, and it got worse. Get it out of here. Stop pushing. Look, hold on. Get it out of here. Figure out a direction for Orange Cassidy. Probably with conglomerations, trios, or whatever else. To save that dead division.
They announced Hangman versus Cassidy for the first time ever
that's right.
on No Build.
That's right.
For Wednesday.
Right. Look, if you want to build that into a feud, fine. It gives us something to do. But it's like, hey, man, Jay White has now been in 2 pay-per-view main events in AEW. They have both been disappointing. He's not a main event guy. We're done. You want to give him a third strike to strike out? Or you want to be done with it? He was in there with John Moxley, Orange Cassidy, and Adam Page. And had a stinker. We're done. Are we under anything that we're not done here?
I would normally agree with you on that, right? Like, but I don't want to. I think this is bigger than Jay White. It's not like Jay White was going to be able to open his mouth here and be like, "Well, I wanted to go this way." Nah, he had to play a role here. Like, there was a template and shit that was going on. Like, I would not push him as a main eventer personally.
I'm not saying he sucks or anything like that. Yeah. I just called him great a second ago. My point is, Jay White, the higher he goes up this card, the results are always mixed at best.
I would do him and Takeshita next, like, or him and Ospreay, and be like, all right, go save yourself in the ring.
But I don't know how you do him and Ospreay when Jay White's a babyface now.
Oh yeah, that's right. Then do Takeshita then. Shit.
I'd watch that match. I'd watch it.
Yeah.
It is low stakes because it'd be somewhere in the middle of the card. But just this whole thing with Moxley, it's not good. It's not good. And we got to move on from this. Otherwise, I'm going to be out here looking like how I was looking at Stardom during the summer. It was like, you have the belt on someone having fuck matches. And like, there's very little hope at the top of the card. It's not fun.
Yeah.
And like, I stopped watching WWE because like, you had Bloodline, or you had heels running roughshod over promotion. I want to feel good moments. Like, I don't want to feel good moment one time and I have to eat a bunch of shit between every 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I'm just not interested in this. I'm not interested in the promos. Like, I'm not interested in the beat downs that you do 12 weeks in a row and shit. Like, I'm not interested in like the quote unquote matches that are like supposed to be like, oh, this is gonna be a great match between Claudio Castagnoli and somebody. And it's like, no, it's not even on that level.
Are you still waiting for why the Young Bucks was out here like shredding up paperwork, or do you not give a fuck either? Because I don't give a fuck.
At this point, how can we care?
No,
at this point, because they haven't called back to it, mentioned it, anything.
Rich, my whole point is like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, just in general, with the top acts in this promotion, what in the fuck are they doing? The only person that they're doing anything well with right now is like, or two, there's more than one. They seem to have a direction for Will Ospreay. They seem to, and they know what they're doing with Swerve. Outside of that, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. That's not good.
I think they know what they're doing. I just disagree vehemently with it.
If you tell me that all this is for Darby Allin to be the conquering hero to beat them, I'm gonna be like, cool, bro. I'm gonna stop watching and then let me know when he gets the match so I can be there when he wins the match. I'm not sitting through this.
Yeah, it's like
that's my problem. But the journey is not worth the destination at this point.
Like these niggas
that's
trying to
bad.
make us. These niggas trying to make us walk over broken glass barefoot to get to the other side. Like, no, man, I'm not doing this. Fuck this. I'm putting shoes on.
Right.
I'm turning around. I'm going the other way, actually. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, I don't
like. The CE2 matches, the Takeshita and Hobbs match, the Mercedes and Statler match. Great
Awesome.
show on paper. Great show. But it leaves you scratching your head as far as like the developments, the fallout of this pay-per-view and where they're headed in the immediate future. And then for me, like, thank God I decided to stay up to watch the Stardom pay-per-view. I would have been like, man, I don't know about fucking wrestling right now, bro. I just don't.
Yeah. It's tough, man. And I say all this stuff not to maliciously like bury anything, but it's like it ain't good. This. I don't like this.
It ain't good. And it is
particularly
infuriating by somebody that's done so much good work for the last 5 years.
Yeah,
it makes it even worse.
And that could go for multiple people. Like Tony Khan's book, like so many great things. And it's just like, do you see what's happening here? Are you like taking a survey? Like, what's the room saying? Like, and there's so many people back there. Like, there's
too many people back there.
So many motherfuckers that probably speaking up. They don't need to speak. You know, to keep it a buck. It's like, nah, man. What do you know about being a star? What do you know about being a top star and making some shit that people gonna remember? Oh, nothing. Oh, okay, you should shut the fuck up. You know, like. Or like you don't have any ideas to make people think differently. Oh, you're just referencing the playbook. Oh, okay, gotcha. But nah, man. Worlds have ended.
I don't know where we go from here, man.
Man, I saw the top 2 matches at Stardom.
Okay, so this show, thank God for this show. I believe, Stardom, Grand Queendom. I'm sorry, Stardom, Dream Queendom 2024. This was the first show that I watched this year from Stardom where I felt like this feels like where we were at 2 years ago in Stardom. Or let me rephrase that. The Yokohama Arena show,
mm-hmm. 423.
Yeah, 423, 23. Like, where it's like, this is the first show that felt like they have directions, they have multiple people and multiple arcs. We are paying off journeys with earned successes and like people coming through and having their biggest moments of their career, and it was awesome. So like this show, this is a Sumo Hall show. This is their annual Sumo Hall show. This is the best attendance they've ever done there, legitimately. Like the first one they did was for in 2013. That was a fake attendance number that Rossi threw out there. Put 5,000 on there. There weren't even 3,000 people there, I don't think. It's 4,000 legit. Over 4,000 legit. And like, they could have put more people in there. They sold out the day of. Sumo Hall. And also they blocked off a side. So like, anyway, yeah, man, just really fun show. It felt like the stuff we watched when we loved the promotion. Opening card, like I'll just in passing, pre-show match. They had Rana versus not Isakura. Who's the other one? Sayaka Kuroka. And like that match was great. It was a young girls match. It was like it felt like it wasn't the Futures belt match, but it felt like the Juniors belt match. 15-minute time limit draw. Rana's fucking good. In God's eye, she's one of Shuri's only. She's a kicker. She's awesome. And like then we'll get to the main card. It's Supreme Hate, Tekla and Momo versus Wingori, Hanan versus Ida. Hanan and Ida, they win the tag titles. And like it was a moment where it's like, if we've watched Stardom all of Ida's whole career. Would we ever have thought that she would have got a tag belt? Or was she just going to be fouled off to geekdom to do good matches and job out for her whole career?
I think she could have been a champion. Like,
I mean, she was a future champion.
Yeah, she could.
But that was the ceiling of it. It was like she was never going to win a red or white belt. She was never going to be like SWA or IWGP Women's Champion.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe she, like, I felt like the furthest she was going to ever top out was like, her ceiling was like, she's going to be the pin eater and the trios champion. Whatever else. Like, she was probably, I'm thinking something like her, Kaguma, and Azuki. And then she loses. And that's like her career. But like, she's a tag champion now. And like, the match was awesome. Like, it's Momo and Tekla. They get the heat on Ida. And then Hannah runs wild and ends up getting the win. So I love the match. Like, I'll probably go, probably 3 3/4. I love the match. It's a great opener. And it's like, okay, Hanan, you look at her year. Hanan won Cinderella tournament, got the match with Ano, lost at the end, but got there, got the match, got her like, into the pool of like, got my first challenge for the white belt. Had the upset over Shuri to get to the semifinal in the Grand Prix. Ultimately lost to Kamatani, or was it Kamatani or Mike? Can't remember. She lost the semifinal, and then like, this is the progression of like, they're putting her on the map as like, she's going to be one of them ones. You just gotta wait. You gotta ride the wave, and she's going to get her moment like in 2 or 3 years. Same way that like when we first started watching, it's like, okay, Tam, Starlight Kid, and like, so she's on her way, and is this like a nice spot for her? Because like, I don't think she is ready to be in a semi-main event spot, but she's definitely ready, overqualified to be in a tag team So or a tag team title scene. So yeah, I'm happy for both of them. And we've seen them get their ass kicked a lot over these last 5 years. So I'm really happy for Ida. Next match after that is a three-way match between it's Quattro's three-way match. It's NXSV, Mina and Rion and Hanako and Waka, and it's God's Eye, it's Hina, it's Lady C, it's Sakishima, and it's Tomoka, and then Hate, it's Azusa, who is Tomoka's younger evil sister, who's like aces with Rina, and then Raka in Fukigen Death. And it's mostly like a match where it's like, all right, we got 2 sets of sisters, and both of them is like one set of each sister, or one of each of the set of sisters are evil, and the other ones aren't. So they're going to interact. That was like the gist of the comedy of the match throughout it. But ultimately at the end, NXSV ends up getting the win. Then you end up getting a preview match, or a tag match, or Quattro's match. It's a preview for the Tokyo Dome for the IWGP Women's title between Mayu and Azumi. It's stars is Mayu, Kogo, Hazuki, and Kaguma versus Neo Genesis. So it's Amasaki, it's Azumi, it's Suzu, and Mace and Sarah. So
yeah, they
killed it. This match is awesome. Lightning fast. Could have went longer, but give you the interactions you want to see between Azumi and Mayu. And then at the end, Azumi ends up pinning Kogo. And they threw some elements back to like the high speed match that Kogo got against Azumi a few years ago. So it was fun, really fun, and like I can't wait to see. Well, if they give them 10 minutes, I can't wait to see what Azumi and Mayu do in the Dome. Because like
high speed.
Oh yeah. And also of note, during the breakup in the starting of Marigold, like there was talks of Starlight Kid and Azumi being, you know, upset and everything, or wanting to get out their deals and everything. And it's like, okay, so Starlight Kid gets semi-main event, he gets the white belt, and Azumi is getting a match in the Dome, a singles match in the Dome. It seems like they're trying to say, don't leave.
Please, baby, please.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, like, next year you would think is the big year to do, you know, or maybe, I don't know.
The big year to do what?
To do Starlight Kid and Azumi at the top, but, you know.
I mean, I'm sure they're going to have that white belt match in semi-main event at some point on one of these shows, like before this reign's over. I mean, like the whole like it makes no sense to put Starlight Kid defenses, like, there obviously a Stardom. There's a million people you can throw out there, but like her best opponent is still to this day is Azumi, and like it makes a lot of sense to finally get her a white or red belt title shot. She's never had one. So I mean, because never mind, we'll skip that. But yeah, so then you start the singles matches, special singles match area, and then you get Ano versus Mika Iwata. You know, this is their third match from this year. Mika kind of shot the roll by doing that short reign by taking the belt off of Ano, and then Ano won it back. So, and then before Ano dropped it off to Natsupoi, but like they have great chemistry. And like
this Mika, you said she's an outsider, right?
Yeah, she's Sendai Girls. Like, the thing that made it weird about the beginning of the year, or the middle of the year when she won the belt off of Ano, was like, it clearly was being set up for Natsupoi and Ano to have their thing where Natsupoi gets the belt off of Ano, right? Mm-hmm. But then they did that whole, trade the belts back and forth, or hot potato the belt back, and it was like, okay, well, Mika's good. Mika's always been good. But it's like, for years, she's been positioned in Sendai Girls, like, she's the one that just loses. She's a loser. Mm-hmm. And then she wins the number 2 belt in Joshi. But she can never win the belt. She can never have an actual shot of being like Chihiro ever. Okay. Like, when it counts anyway. Okay, mm-hmm. That's odd. So, but yeah, man, this match is awesome. Like, it's hella kicks. Mika throws kicks from different spots. Like, I think you enjoyed her. Hella combos, and then like it's Ano.
I saw a clip of her. Yeah, I'm kind of interested.
Yeah, and the thing about her is like she's unserious. Like in Sendai at times, like she can fall into comedy or whatever else because she loves to laugh. But mm-hmm. like they have in Stardom, her presentation is more focused and serious and ass kicker. It's like early Shuri in a way, whereas like I'm just here to just beat people up, and I think it's done well for her in starting to not be like just to be serious, not be like just come in as a I'm gonna lose, whatever, that sort of thing. Right. So yeah, her and like she's just holding on. They're back and forth, and most of the time is like she's outshining Ano, but Ano's she has that crazy flash pin where she traps people with her feet or whatever else. And so like she almost catches her one time, she gets out of it, and she catches her again, and she's gonna win. And like the whole setup for this whole match was like, this is the last time to wrestle each other ever again. Like they basically like, this is the final countdown. We're never doing this again.
This is it.
And Mika walks off into the darkness like, fuck, I lost to my rival in the final one. I feel like Daniel Cormier. Well, at least Mika won once.
I was about to say she's gonna have to be on a show, several years later, vaguely calling her a coon. Yes, vaguely calling her a coon to take your revenge.
Yeah. So then we end up getting I believe it was like some specialty rules match, like an MMA rules match. It wasn't UWF exactly, but it was like something along those lines. And then like the match starts between Shuri and Konami. And obviously they were tag champions earlier in the year, and then Konami betrayed Shuri, so this had that kind of juice to it. It had too much juice. Shuri kicked her, and most people think that she dropped her. She kicked her and knocked her loopy with the kick. So she goes down, and they have to call an audible, and Hate runs in, and the match has to get thrown out.
Oh wow!
Yeah, like she bust saw kicked. She kicked her and then she bust. And like it was supposed to be like a hot start thing where it's like big kick. Someone's on the, but she accidentally. It seems like she actually just laid
that off.
Yeah. Now look, just glad that didn't happen to AEW against Mercedes. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Imagine.
So what has happened is like it's God's Eyes trying to clear the ring with the rest of Hate, and then a wrestler that was in, I believe, Glate comes in and she wants to be an understudy of Shuri, so Shuri takes her, and now she's gonna have another ass kicking karate woman on her side. Look, bro,
Shuri
it's
out here
Tomoka, it's Rana, and now it's her. Like it's like, bro, all they doing is adding a statement. Is women with fighting backgrounds for Shuri to tutor.
She taking in all the sick and all the poor.
You said
like it nurse them back to health.
All right, so I'm reading in the comments that Stardom has announced that Konami is hurt with no return as of now. So yeah, it appears. Yeah. She called it. She called it live fire. So then you get a no DQ match between Micah and Natsuko Tora. And Rich, when this match started, the first half of this match, I was like, oh, God damn it. They went out here, had a fucking garbage match. She has the fork, or Natsuko's out here with the fork, like she's fucking dump. Matsumoto is plotting, it's slow, it's just garbage wrestling. And then it turned into a Seth Rollins match where once they did it wasn't a Falcon Arrow off the top rope, but it was a suplex off the top rope onto the Desperado cut open beer cans. Mm-hmm. And then from there, the match was fucking really good after that happened. And, like Michael bleeding all over the place. Just run-ins, a bunch of near falls, and Micah just like, she keeps kicking out of bigger and bigger shit. Eventually she's gonna get up and win, but ultimately she did not. Natsuko ends up beating her. But yeah, the match was like the last half of the match was great, but the first half was not. The first half was trash. The last half was great. So I actually say it's probably like, it was a good match. You check it out. I think you probably like, this might be the best Natsuko singles match I've ever seen. But It was a plunder match. And it took a while to get going, but once it got going, it was really good. It was really good. So then you get to the two matches I'm assuming you watched. White belt match, red belt match, right?
Yeah.
All right. So do you see the video package for the white belt match?
Yes.
Okay.
We're just taking you through
the whole story. See the video package of Still Starlight Kid, of every step along her career. She has won every single belt there is to win in this promotion so far since she's debuted in 2015. Except she has yet to win a red or white belt, and then they highlight the hell this woman has been through trying to win this white belt dating back to 2019. When Julia beat the shit out of her and ripped her mask damn near off her face. When she got beat by Tam. When she lost the absolute heartbreaker to Kamatani. When she had a perfect match for Kamatani, and she's like, nah, you just, nah, I'm the big bird, you ain't. You just evil. I'm rebuking evil. It's the white belt. You ain't good enough to get there. You don't deserve this yet. She sent her off crying. And then she lost to Ano last year. And that was also another one where she was another heartbreaker. And then they show her and Natsupoi dating back to when Natsupoi was doing dates in Stardom in 2016. And they were, I think they were in Tag League one year in 2016, I believe. But they've always been friendly. On commentary, they mentioned the part where, like, when she got kicked out and exiled from Oedo Tai, that, Tam made the save, and at first it seemed like Tam and Natsupoi were trying to, lift her spirits, and they wanted her in Comics Angels, and ultimately she decided to go another route. But, like, there's still a thank you for, saving me from where I was, a woman with no country, right? So they had this damn match. It starts. Oh, let's forget it. Starlight Kid comes out. All white, lighter thing. She looked like the fucking White Ranger Tommy.
Yeah. I saw that. I was like, she's good again. Like,
right. I think so. Because this is your first time seeing you. I don't think you saw her get jumped on, but like, this is your first time seeing her like as a hero again. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So that was good to see. And then that's what comes out. She has all white gear, and then you see like it's like This is what these two were meant to be ever since like they were feuding with each other or over the high speed belt in 2021, where it's like,
man, I was like, this is the world's smallest title match right here, bitch.
Yeah, you
tiny women.
You say that, but why was this match more physical than Mercedes and Statlander?
Bro, they was fucking each other up. They was fucking each other up.
Oh my god. And like the best part about it is like you remember that video packaging, like they're showing like back then how like Starlight Kid was like she was look, I understand Starlight Kid, get it, but like at that point in time, she was a child.
Bro, like I started to notice, I was like, bro, she's not like little Starlight Kid no more. Like they would zoom in on her, like, and like you can see like her facial, like, and you could also in the video package, she had like, I think she had the purple mask still, but you could see like the facial structure. She was like, this is an adult now.
Right.
Like,
yeah, my point was going to be like, when you saw her back in like 2015 to 16, her first few years, like, she looks like a little kid, like when you watch it, like the little kids in Little League, whatever else, and like the football helmets, like her head is so much bigger than her body. Like the Starlight Kid mask is bigger than her whole body. Like it was like a bowling ball on a stick. And then like pretty much since like the Bushiroad acquisition, whatever else, and like a lot of women start getting in the weight room, whatever else, like you start seeing Starlight Kid like adding weight to like her upper body over the last few years, and it's like now we're here, and it's like they're beating the shit out of each other, and when they are here hitting each other in the chest with these big ass forearms, just thundering off in the arena. The crowd's hot as hell for this match. There is excellent, beautiful wrestling. It's a body part match that's like not a boring one. It's like they're selling is excellent.
Bro, when I was seeing that, I was like, yo, this is how you fucking do a body part match.
Right.
Like with like flying moves to the knee, exciting reversals targeting the knee, like different stuff like that. And I was like, that's it. Like,
like Starlight Kid.
Show this to these Americans. Like
Starlight Kid. Ever since she turned heel, like start doing the leg stuff. She can do the leg, the stretch muffler. I forgot what she called it. I think she called it a dark tiger leg destroyer. I'm just gonna call it a stretch muffler, right? And then on the other end, like the last year or two, Natsupoi start working in like these twirling arm bars in like for near falls. So like this whole match is them finding nifty ass ways to get in and out and then reversing into the other one's bad limb. And it was incredible. And then you start seeing like their high speed stuff in between it. You start seeing like the one where she like Poi has the advantage. She has Kid down. She goes to top rope to go hit the Ferial Gift. Kid fires up, runs up there and then hits the fucking Spanish Fly. It was just an incredible match. And then ultimately at the end, like, start trading their near falls with their finishers, and then Kid ends up winning, and it's like this is my favorite Stardom match, literally since like Yokohama Arena, Tam and Julia. Like it's an awesome match. Like 4 3/4 easy. Like this is a perfect wrestling match for someone to watch that's never watched Stardom before. Like this is what it's all about. Like to see two people connected to each other, they both in each other's way. And like they're both baby faces, and it's like ultimately like the person that has gone through the most hell finally overcomes. Awesome. Love the match. Fantastic. I can't wait to watch it again. I don't really do really much like rewatch anymore, but I thought this match was a perfect match.
Yeah, I don't know what I would give it, but I just remember seeing like a very hot start to it, and then like an amazing closing sequence, and then like just kicking out of like just fucking everything in this match.
Yeah, like Poi was so frustrated when she couldn't put her away. So frustrated.
I think I like to thank Starlight Kid for collecting on the bounty, clean this up. And tonight was Down Goes Cosmic Angels. Like
that was over. Look, man, and I have a point about that once we get to the end of this. Kid wins. Ref comes in to hand the belt off to Starlight Kid. Natsupoi takes it and hands it to her. And I was like, that's how it's done. That's how it's done. So then you get in the main event. Tanaka versus Saya Kamatani. This match was great. It wasn't the match we just talked about. Totally different match.
Yeah. They started really fast, but I want to take it back to the because they did a great video package too. And then I started seeing Sai Kamatani as a rookie, and I was like, wow. And then they were like 2019, and I'm like, I feel like I saw her grow up. Like, shit.
I mean, that's the thing with like this show, like Kamatani, Kid, like we've seen them grow up.
Yep. And then like they're showing Tam with her, and it's like Tam's like her older sister the whole time.
Yep.
And then she's like, they show her eventually having to leave her and going to Queen's Quest, and then going up the ladder as the big bird, as I call her, like the Phoenix. And then they're showing Tam like going through her stuff and winning, and at every step of the way, you know, they show us Tam strapping her up with the white belt.
Yep.
You know what she did with the white belt. So like I was already like just very kind of like looking at this, very into it already, just off the video package.
Yeah. Like it was very well done on showing the whole thing. Is like, and for those that don't know, like Tam in 2018-19, like she was running like an Idols pre-show thing, like before the shows. Like she like putting on like idol acts on in the ring before shows. Like, so Kamatani got recruited there, and I think the thing was like, if you want to do it, like you have to train for wrestling. So when Kamatani debuts in August 10, 2019, the reason why I know that is because like it's her and Utami have the same anniversary, except Utami's 1 year ahead. Like she debuts against Momo. And then, like, the next Korakuen she debuts, she has the match with Tam or whatever else. And then, like, you see, like, Tam kind of, like, while she's the number 2 in Stars, like, basically, like, unilaterally decide to put her into Stars without Mayu's, like, permission. And then, you know, after that Futures match with Utami, she decides to join Utami in the Queen's Quest. And they start Aphrodite. But, like, the whole time along the way is, like, Tam is heartbroken that her little sister left her, and like she still loves her to death, and every single and like ultimately, like when they have these matches, it's like Kamatani beats Tam more times than not. I think it's something like I think they've wrestled like 8 or I think Tam's only won like 2 or 3 times, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the whole time is like Big Sis loves this woman, but Big Sis keep losing. So they set the match, it's great as you mentioned. Then they go to the outside and they grab the longest chain I've ever seen in my life. they grab the chain you go get when you think you finna go use your when you think you finna go take down a redwood. That's how big this damn chain was. They go down one of those corner entrance aisles in Sumo Hall. They wrap it around Tam's neck. Kamatani then proceeds to go up the balcony with this long ass chain that's like 30 feet long, and then with a 30 feet worth of chain, hangs Tam Nakano like 4 feet up off of the ground.
Look, I ain't tell you to do all that, Sai Kamatani. Goddamn.
So then after they finally let her down, then Saya said, "Yeah, you know how to murder you, so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna dive on you from the top of the balcony on the damn Nakano."
Shit's so funny, bro.
Oh my god! So then they get in the ring, and then they Tam did something to even it out before they got back in the ring. I can't remember what it was, but like they ended up back in the ring, and they're having a great match, and then they do a tiger superplex off the second rope, and because of the history of, you know, like you mentioned, like the big sister little sister thing looking at you. You know, this whole, you know, Stardom more or less got fucked for a full year. That when Kamatani, who probably was going to win the Grand Prix last year, in the opener against Tam in the main event, on night 1, she dislocates her elbow. And then Tam is literally there to be like, it's okay, you know, whatever else. And they showed that video package. This motherfucker Kamatani sells that she broke her neck. And for a second, I got worked. I was like, is she fucked up? And they were like, in the way it was going, I was like, okay, it's a work, it's fine. But like the crowd hasn't picked up that it's a work like I have. So the crowd's like, everyone's looking around like, can she move? And like, it's convincingly well done because it even got me. So all of a sudden they bringing the doctor up. Like, do we need to stop it? Tam is like, oh my God, it's deja vu from the shit similar to what happened at Grand Prix last year. She's in the corner. She's like, fuck, she's hurt. And then she's talking to Daichi the ref. Kamatani grabs the ring ref, the ring doctor, shoves him out the way, and then proceeds to attack Tam. And then she ends up hitting the Vada screwdriver on Tam, and then end up the Star Crusher and in the win. I was like, man, that's cheap, but like it worked me. It worked. But it was a great match. It's not what I want for the main event of that, but it's like this is a different character for Kamatani. It's not meant to be the conqueror hero.
Yeah, that I was gonna get there. I was gonna be like, look, man, I know people were trying to convince me like, oh, this has been the best thing for her career. I'm like, bro, it would have felt so much better with her as a hero. And the video package reminded me of it. And seeing the journey, and then all of a sudden she's evil.
And you have the whole thing of what you saw right before with Starlight Kid. So you're just like,
so I'm like, damn, it's like, bro, like I've been wanting Kamatani to win for so fucking long. And then she does it, and it's like, she had to win it like that. I'm wearing all black right now like her. Like,
I'll say this.
Like this.
I'll say this. This to me makes me believe that they know that they have another title run in her for the red belt as a good person, as a hero.
I just don't know how many
there is
people
no
get
way
through
they
those.
think this is the best. This is like they're going to get the best match out of her doing this, and it's going to make her the biggest star doing this. There's no way.
It just has felt so rare that people have gotten 2 red belt reigns, though.
But she's at the age where she could, because she's the middle child age, right? Like she's in that Hazuki age of like she's in her late 20s. And
like she's going to have to be the person that Azumi and Starlight Kid in theory would be.
That's what I'm getting at. Because it can't be Natsupoi, because Natsupoi is too small for them to think that she could be the red belt champion. And also she's older. Like I think she's going to be the one that's going to get them through the door, or particularly Starlight Kid. If she stays, I think she's going to stay. Because everything is... The Shadow Booker is out here doing everything in her power to make you as over as possible. Shadow Booker being Tam. So, into the match, or at post-match, just like with the white belt, when they were both good guys, like Tam put the belt around Kamatani's waist in Sumo Hall in 2021 and said, you know what, the belt looks good on you. So, I don't know what the translation of this was. Tam's out here like looking sick, sad, crying, and Kamatani says, hey, I know I broke your heart, but I know you still love me, more or less. Come put the belt on around my waist, because you can't help yourself when it comes to me. And sure enough, Tam put the belt around her waist like a damn dummy, because Tam's always supposed to be an underdog babyface. And then what did Kamatani do? Thanks, and slapped the shit out of her. And slapped her to the ground. Bro, the crowd was mad. The crowd was mad. That crowd went boo.
You know.
Oh man.
Pop me.
I fucking died laughing. I was like, God damn, Tam, you know what? You talking about Tam, you talking about Kenny Omega, the parallel so often is like, find you some great wrestler in your promotion that loves you and protect you, will do anything they can to put you over the way that Kenny Omega and Tam Nakano will go bend over backwards to put over Adam Page and Saya Kamatani. They have done things. They have done things that are unheard of for these people.
Yeah, nigga, hobble through an entire calendar year with
vertigo and shit.
Vertigo and numerous injuries, yeah.
Oh,
why your ass goes and has a baby, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll hold on to it for you.
Shit's crazy, bro. So yeah, man. But yeah, it was a great show. Like, I don't know. I probably had like a 4.25 rating for that match, but
sounds about
like,
right.
But yeah, man, like it just felt like with Kamatani, red belt champion, Starlight Kid, white belt champion, Hannon and Ito tag champion. I believe someone pulled up the stat like it's the first time those 3 belts are held at the same time by like actual True Bloods. People started came through the Stardom, and it's like, they, after, a really start that I did not like when they did a NASCO shit, like they have finally got to the new generation and like found a way to get past like, or starting the thing of like, we have something for you to look forward to in Stardom past Julia, Tam Nakano, Utami, and Shuri after they were our big four for so long. Like, so I'm back in. So I'm gonna start watching Stardom.
We might have to start putting some more Stardom on this shit.
Yeah, especially because the Starlight Kid, like Kamatani being the Red Belt champion, Starlight Kid being the White champion, especially the Starlight Kid thing is like, this is the long journey that pays off where if you've been watching a product, you'd be like, this is what I've wanted to see. It's finally paid off, and this is good. It is better than I even thought it could be or feel like. That's what AEW was so good at for a while or for a long time, and like right now they've kind of lost that. And like, don't get me wrong, Stardom lost that too in the middle of this year, but they've gotten back on track now. They gave you the happy, feel good moment. So yeah, like I'm chasing that now. I'm back to watch Stardom every show when they start back. So they start back with a vengeance. Beginning of the year. They have, I think, the 1-3 shows when they start, and then they have a Cork and Hall like later that week too. So I'm in. We're back in. We'll be hitting the music. I know people are saying we won't be hitting the music. Like, we'll be hitting the music in 2025.
Yeah. Man, I guess we should wrap this up then.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, y'all. Rich, you'll plug the Chop Tees.
Yeah, make sure you guys pick up some quality merchandise from Chop Tees. Check out the Social Suplex section, and what you're going to do is get 10% off on your first order there. You can get shirts from One Nation Radio. You can get stuff from All Things Elite, Tonal Talk. They dropped some new designs, I believe. Keepin It Strong Style has a great hoodie with a man that looks a lot like seemingly Hiroshi Tanahashi, I think, but I don't think it's him. One Nation Radio, Dream Team stuff, all that on there. We also got more designs at onelifetimeworldwide.com. And also support the FOH draft. Do not miss that. Like, that is the end of the year that we build up to that is unlike anything else. Like, I know people do drunk Christmas shows on like Brian Alvarez does that, right? But those Christmas shows are like, they're somewhere else. Like, they're not talking about wrestling on those. Like, we are cracking it open and busting people's heads on this. So check it out. Lay the funds down, download it, come to the FOH channel in the Discord and talk about it. I need to put out the superlative on it. I want some more feedback on it. Yeah. So, but yeah, thank all you guys for listening all throughout the year, sharing the show, supporting the show, and just helping us, keep going to another level this year. So, appreciate you guys listening.
Yeah, and if you are watching from the stream, be sure to go to the show notes. In the podcast and go to the Red Circle link to donate there, as well as if you're not going to donate to FOH, or you can donate twice.
We ain't going to stop you.
Yeah, definitely ain't going to stop you.
Be sure. I appreciate the large donation that came through for One Nation Radio the other day. I don't know who it was. It doesn't tell us, but we definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. And listen to other shows on the network. Besides One Nation Radio, you have Keepin It Strong Style, All Things Elite, Imp's WWE Adventure, Wrestling Art with Chris Things, Tunnel Talk, who just had a show with the Young Bucks. I'm going to check that out when I get a chance. And the Trish and Sarah Wrestling Podcast. Thanks for listening, y'all. Later.
Peace.